Hello guys, today let us discuss about the selection tests. Now, whenever a candidate is required to be hired for a particular job, we conduct different types of tests to choose to choose the right candidate. So different types of tests may be conducted depending on the type of job profile for which we are selecting the candidate. If it is a teaching profession, the type of test will be different. If it is a computer programmer, the type of test will be different. If he is a software professional, the type of test will be different. So for different professions, we'll have to modify the selection test accordingly. So basically, there are different types of tests. Let me mention them in the initial stage and then we will explain in detail. So first one is about aptitude or potential ability test. So under this, there are three categories: mental or intelligence test, mechanical aptitude test, and psychomotor or skill tests. Second is about the achievement or proficiency test. Again, two types here. One is job knowledge test or trade test, and other one is work sample test. And the third one is about the personality test. Again, it is of three categories: objective test, projective test, and situation test. And the last one is about the interest test. Now let us discuss in detail about these types of tests. Let us move on to the first one. This is aptitude or potential ability test. Now this type of test will measure the hidden ability of the candidate to learn a new job or skill. See, every position requires some type of learning in the initial stages. So whether the candidate is suitable to learn new job or new skill, so all this can be tested using this aptitude or potential ability test. Also, the defects in a person's sensory or intellectual capacity can also be identified using these tests. So aptitude tests are of three types. First one is mental or intelligence test. Second one is about the mechanical aptitude test, and the third one is about the psychomotor or skill test. Now, what is meant by mental or intelligence test? As the name indicates, this is about the testing of IQ of a person, that is intelligence quotient. Now, this test reveals whether the candidate has the capacity to deal with the new problems, because every now and then in our profession there will be problems arising due to various sources. So whether this candidate is able to cope up with those situations. And it also helps us to know if the person's word fluency, his memory capacity, inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning, there will be different type of figures that will be shown to you. A set of figures will be shown to you, and it will have its own the levels, and they will give you four options, and which is the next one that will be identified based on a person's perception. So you can Google it down, and in order to know the different types of inductive reasoning tests, not required for the exams, but for your understanding, you will be able to understand a better way if you Google it. And also the speed of perception and the spatial visualization. Again, spatial visualization is also dealing with the diagrams. Again, you can check in Google, you will come to know some examples of spatial visualization test also. So these tests measure the ability to understand instructions and to make decisions. So looking at the figures itself, it is self-instruction like. So you'll understand by looking at those diagrams. Say for example, 4 diagrams are given. What is the fifth one? And that fifth one will be given as multiple choice. You'll have to identify. So decision making is very important. Your IQ level is very important. So this type of tests are conducted for a wide variety of jobs. This is applicable for all type of professions because it's related to the intelligence quotient, you see. For every type of job, this IQ is very, very important. Second is about the mechanical aptitude test. Now, this mechanical aptitude test need not be taken for all type of jobs. For example, a computer programmer, a software engineer, he doesn't require this mechanical aptitude test. Now, this is usually for the apprentices or machinists or mechanics or maintenance workers or mechanical technicians. So, for all this type of positions, we will be conducting mechanical aptitude test. So, this test also measures the person's capacity to learn a particular type of mechanical work. Now, it also requires some specialized technical knowledge, right? So, and how they can solve the problems. All this can be identified using mechanical aptitude test. So, usually for the lower level personnel who are dealing with the operation of machines, only for such type of profiles we conduct this mechanical aptitude test. Then the next one is about the psychomotor or skill test. So these tests measure the person's ability to perform a specific job. Also psychomotor, here you see there should be a muscular movement, control and coordination. So some jobs involves this muscular movement, control and coordination. So for that type of jobs we conduct this psychomotor or skill test. Now there may be some semi-skilled jobs like person working in an assembly line or packaging or testing, inspection. So this is the repetitive type of job what they do. So their proper coordination, muscular movement, control, all these things are very much essential. And the second main category is about the achievement or proficiency test. Now, this determines the skill or knowledge that the candidate has already acquired through his past training and his previous job experience. There are two categories here, job knowledge test, which is also called as a trade test, and the second one is work sample test. Now, what is this? Let us see. Job knowledge test or trade test can be both oral as well as written. This is used to judge proficiency in typing, shorthand, adding machines, simple mechanical equipments. All those things will come here. Useful for selection of stenographers, typists, office workers, mill supervisors, salespersons, public utility employees. So all those type of profession, we conduct this type of job knowledge test. What he has the capacity to do certain type of jobs, that's all. Then second one is about the work sample test. So in this test, a candidate is given a piece of work and the interviewer will judge how he performs. For example, a typing test also can be given for a typist, and we will count how fast that candidate is able to do the typing and how many errors he or she has performed. We will come to know in this work sample test. Third one is about the personality test. So these tests are used to judge the psychological status of the candidate in terms of his values, emotional reactions and maturity. This personality test can be conducted for any type of professions because everywhere there's interpersonal skills required, how he deals with the different people and creating a impressive image of himself. So all those are required in every profession. So these tests are used to select supervisors and executives of any level. Okay, and again there are three categories in this. One is objective test, second one is projective test, and the third one is situation test. Now what is this objective test? Let us see. As the name indicates, objective, it's like objective type where the answer will be either in the form of yes or no, only two options. For example, a statement is given, I am easygoing. So a candidate will have only two options, yes or no. This is only an example. So similar type of questions will be asked. Again, you can refer Google for getting different examples. So These tests measure the neurotic tendencies, which we consider as the unconscious effort, and dominant submission characters and self-confidence. So such type of questions are framed and you will be given a questionnaire. So based on the answers, how many yes, how many no's, so your the uh, character or the personality can be measured. Second one is about the projective test. Now here what they do is an image is shown. It can be a picture of any situation and you are asked to express your views on this. So depending on the type of expression you react, you will be judged. So this is called as projective test. Then third one is situation test. Now here what they do is candidate's reaction is observed by how he deals in a peculiar situation. It could be a stressed situation or it could be a situation under pressure. So a problem is posed to a group. It can be done in group also. Individually also it can be done. And if it is posed to a group, each member is asked to come out with some conclusions. So it can be done individually or it can be done in a group also, no problem. One situation is presented to you and you have to give your conclusions on it. So based on the conclusions that you give, you will be judged. And the last one is about the interest test. So these tests are conducted to know the likes and dislikes of candidates in relation to work. Now every person has some likes and dislikes. So he likes to do certain kind of jobs. He dislikes to do certain type of jobs. So based on this questionnaire, you will be able to identify what are a person's likes and dislikes. So these are used to discover a person's area of interest and to identify the kind of work that will satisfy him. See, you may appoint a person for a particular job. Whether that type of job will satisfy him or not, how do you know? So this test will also help you to understand his likes and dislikes. So this is about the different types of selection test. So the question can be asked here, any one type of test also they may ask for short answers, or for a long answers they can ask explain different types of selection test. So that's all in this class. See you in my next session. Thank you.